Hello, my name is Rick Green, and I'm the editor of the Meadville Tribune. And with me is reporter Mike Crowley. We'd like to thank you for joining us for our Meet the Candidate session. Today we're with Jim Roha, who is running for one of the seats on Meadville City Council. We'll first turn it over to Mr. Roha for an introduction or opening statement.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me here. I'm Jim Roha. I'm a city councilman here. In fact, I've been a city councilman for quite a long time, on and off. I love the city of Meadville. I love being of public service to the citizens of the city of Meadville. I was born here a certain number of years ago. I expect that I will draw my last breath here. I've grown up in Meadville. I worked in Meadville. In fact, I'm still working. I'm an Allegheny College graduate. I've done some graduate work at West Virginia University and Edinburgh University. Taken some courses in accounting at University of Pittsburgh at Titusville, and some courses in real estate at Penn State University. I'm a retired real estate broker and real estate appraiser, and actually I was an instructor in real estate for a number of years. I'd like to be your councilman. I've been your councilman for the last 8 years now. I'd like to continue to serve the citizens of Meadville. Meadville is in an interesting position. Like all third-class cities in Pennsylvania, we're probably just a few years away from Act 47, which is the municipal equivalent of bankruptcy. I'd like to avert us from that, and that's one of the reasons why I want to continue to serve the citizens. We also have a number of projects going on in the city. I'd like to see them come to fruition for the benefit of all parties concerned. I thank you people for having me here today and giving me the opportunity to speak to you and through you to the public. Thanks again.
Yep. Well, Mike Crowley, start off with our first question.
You just mentioned that you've been on council for the past 8 years. Over the past 4 years, we'll focus on for now, how would you evaluate City Council's performance?
We've accomplished some good things in the last few years. We have an interesting mix on council, and we have something I consider a vital mix, which is a divergence of opinion on some issues. I'm a great believer in balance of power and divergence of opinion, so that there are instances where someone may or may not agree with an outcome, but at least all sides are heard. What would I like to see continued here? I'd like to see us have a vibrant inner city, or downtown, if you will. Excuse me. Oh, there. Thank you. I'd like to see us have a vibrant city. I would like to see people have jobs where they are self-fulfilled and can enjoy life, not just subsist, but subsist or exist and thrive. I'm sorry. We have affordable housing. We talk about affordable housing, but the fact is our housing is extremely affordable. Go 40 miles and you'll find out that prices are significantly higher. Go 90 miles, they're double what ours are. So that's an area where I don't necessarily agree with some of my colleagues, but we have affordable housing. We even have the jobs. And I'd like to see more jobs that are household forming. We have a number available, and usually the only bar to being, excuse me, the only bar to having those jobs is perhaps a lack of skill, but we already have the facilities for that. So what I hope to accomplish is to continue with making the city a place where employers want to locate, making the city a place where those with promise elect to return, if they so choose, and help build our economy.
So, I take it maybe affordable housing might not be one of your top 4 priorities for the next 4 years, but what would be your top 4 priorities?
Top 4 priorities. Making sure that we don't go into Act 47. I would say...
How close do you think the city is from hitting
I haven't seen this year's budget yet. I suspect it will have a shortfall. But it could be as soon as 4 or 5 years from now.
Okay.
So making sure we don't go into Act 47 would be a priority of mine. The home inspection program or the rental inspection program is not really being effective. It's actually caused a shortage of housing, a worse shortage of housing, and the prices have gone up. So the public has not been served by the program as it's administered. I believe in a rental inspection program that is based on complaint driven. Otherwise, we're going to actually have more homelessness than we might already have. We do have a homeless problem. I think every municipality does, but I think it would actually be exacerbated. So that would be a second one to revise and remove or change the focus dramatically of the rental inspection program. We have capital needs. We're working on various capital projects now, but we have far more to go. Some of our infrastructure in the city, and granted, some of it is now the problem of authorities, but ultimately it's the citizens who need the infrastructure who would suffer. We need to be able to fund infrastructure improvements. So that would be 3 of them right there. And downtown is, of course, important. But again, the downtown has to be driven by the people who have the investment, the merchants, the building owners, the employees, and the patrons. Mm-hmm. Those are the people who have to drive the downtown development. It's not something that should be ordained from another source.
With that in mind, do you have in mind any particular specific strategies that you want to pursue to attract and retain businesses in Meadville while also supporting the small local entrepreneurs?
Again, a lot of that has to be driven by the customers and those who serve them. It does no good for an organization to say, this is what we're going to do in the downtown community if there is not common ground. And the common ground has to be truly broadly based, not contrived.
Okay. A common theme heard from many residents and business owners, especially as parking has become more of a focus over the past 2 years, is the idea that the city needs additional downtown parking. How do you feel about downtown parking as it is right now, and how should council respond to calls for more parking and cheaper parking?
Lots of luck with cheaper parking. That's part of the reason we're in the situation that we're in. When the parking garage was built a number of years ago, about 20 years ago, the true cost of a parking space, and that true cost to liquidate the debt and do the capital maintenance and improvements that needed to be done, the true cost was $121 per space per month. They were charging $30. Okay, you can't keep the building standing, and in fact, that's exactly what happened. Today, the cost of replacing the parking garage and building anew would be a few $100s a month. Okay. Again, I'm talking the cost for a city. Private enterprise can do it a little differently because they don't have to pay prevailing wages and go through the bidding process and all the rest of it. So cheaper parking is not going to be an issue because it simply is not feasible. You couldn't afford to repave your parking lots. Do we need more parking? Well, certain hours of the day we certainly do. I'm just fortunate I found a place today reasonably close. It costs twice as much as it used to. It's going to cost twice as much as it used to. Again, if you look at the rest of the world, our parking is incredibly cheap. Erie's had 50-cent an hour parking on the street for years, if not more. I don't know what their fine system is. They've had higher parking rates for their parking garage. Again, we're talking a place 34 miles away from here. So it just depends on how much you want to use downtown and how important it is to you. Do we need more parking? Arguably, we do. But we have to make sure that the parking is used by those who are actually supporting the community. If I have a prime parking space or prime parking spaces, plural, they cannot be used by employees and business owners downtown. They're cutting their own throats. So if they insist on doing that, and I've witnessed that, if they insist on doing it and they don't have the business because there's no parking, well, they've actually caused the problem themselves. They are the solution, or the potential solution, or they're the problem.
Looking abroad a little bit, what are your ideas on working with Crawford County? The city's currently involved with a lawsuit against the county, or with local nonprofits, Allegheny College, the hospital. How do you think City Council can help strengthen community partnerships like that and address some of the challenges that are shared between those organizations and the city?
We actually have a decent working relationship with Crawford County. We have a difference of opinion on some issues. As far as reassessment goes, we're at least 40 years overdue for a true reassessment. That benefits the entire county. It definitely benefits our citizens because on the whole, property values in Meadville, or not property values, but property assessments in Meadville are generally higher than they are in the rest of the county. And so in essence, the citizens of Meadville are subsidizing the county taxes and school taxes of the rest of Crawford County, or at least of our own school district.
And thoughts on some of the other, some of the nonprofits and city's relationship with them?
We have a decent relationship with nonprofits. We have a working relationship with Allegheny College and with the medical center. The medical center has asked us to perform some services for them, additional services, and there has been an arrangement, a financial arrangement made. That service benefits everybody because it allows the medical center to have protection that its security staff would not be able to pay for. And it gives us an additional source of revenue that we would otherwise not have. College, again, we have a good working relationship with the college, and they do make some payment in lieu of taxes, as does the medical center, which ease the burden on the tax-paying citizens of Meadville.
Every 4 years or so around this time, there are a certain number of calls for increased payments in lieu of taxes. Is that something that should be considered or can be considered?
What should be considered is the state of Pennsylvania should change the system of taxation and the way cities fund properties. Everything else is just a stopgap. So to say that should be done, well, yeah, but we still are not going to get paid anywhere near the true cost of the service for a member of the private sector. I'm looking at a house across the street right now and estimating how much it would cost that house for, say, the taxes on fire insurance, and compare that to the prorated amount that we'd be getting for a similar building up on the campus. A similar building up on campus would be paying proportionately less, even through the payment in lieu of taxes. So there's still an inequality. Unfortunately, that's out of our hands locally. And the various lobbying organizations in the state of Pennsylvania do not seem inclined to put pressure on Harrisburg to make any changes in that area.
Switching topics, what's your approach to ensure that Meadville remains a safe and welcoming community while fostering a trust between the residents and law enforcement?
We have a decent relationship between residents and law enforcement. Now, there's been talk about whether we need a mental health court at the county or not. Again, that's a county function, not a city function.
I believe the county says a lot of those, if not all of the services, are being provided in some other manner.
They may be provided in some other manner. The question is, are they provided when they're needed? A lot of crises occur at hours of the day and days of the week that perhaps staffing is not available. So there could be a need there. Again, that's not something the city can afford, nor should we be shouldering the burden of county or statewide organizations.
To follow up on that, as you're no doubt aware, the city received national attention this summer when a video of a violent arrest by Meadville Police Department officers went viral. What's your position on how the incident was handled and what steps should be taken, if any, in the future to ensure effective civilian oversight of the department?
You talk about the video, and there are people who made claims about the video. I saw that video. And what people claimed they saw, they couldn't have seen because it was obscured by the hood and bumper of the car. So they may have extrapolated and thought they had seen something, but indeed they didn't. I know the two of the officers involved. I've ridden with them to see how policing is done. I've been very impressed with the department, and they're very polite, they're congenial, they're compassionate, they're patient. Okay? Now, whatever happened in there, of course, we really need to wait until it goes through the entire court system and everything is handled. So I really shouldn't be counting or commenting on that. But to the extent that I can comment, there are escalating methods of controlling behavior. Okay. For some people, it's simply a verbal command. For others, more is required. In any event, the officer or officers had been placed in danger themselves with a confrontation in the middle of a highway. It's not just a side residential street, it's actually a highway. So I'm not sure there's any happy outcome in that. Going forward, each case has to be decided on its own merits.
Those are the questions we have. We'll let you finish with a closing statement, or if there's an issue that we didn't cover that you would like to talk about.
Have I answered everything? Do you have any other areas that you want me to talk about?
No, that covers the ground that we wanted to touch on. So
Okay. Well, by the way, I'm in the process of filling out your questionnaire, and I appreciate the opportunity for that. I want to be a city councilman. I am a city councilman because I love the community. We certainly don't do it for the money. I want to continue to serve the community to the best of my ability, and I think I can do that as a policy maker. We have, in Meadville, we do not have a strong mayor form of government. We have a professional management form of government, which is far superior to any strong mayor form of government that exists anywhere. We have honest, honorable, ethical employees working for the city. And we've taken the partisan politics out to the extent that you can. We've taken it out of local government. That's a good thing for the community. I hope to continue for many more years as a councilman and to continue to provide an alternate point of view. It's not whether you win on a topic, it's whether you can convince people to maybe modify certain aspects of an opinion or a method of operation in which you can actually have everybody represented. Different minds have different ways of looking at problems and different ways of proposing solutions. We had an instance recently on the zoning ordinance, and there was literally one word that could have been changed, and we could have had a unanimous adoption of the proposed ordinance change. It was not changed, but it could have been. So it comes that close sometimes. But the point of view, I think, is great. If you had, heaven help us, if we had Congress and everybody else with no one else except one party, of any party, can you imagine how things would be? I don't think they'd be as good as they are now. That's rather an interesting commentary, but I think a true one nevertheless. So if the citizens are willing to elect me to another term, I appreciate it. I appreciate the trust they've put in me over the years. Let's see, I think I've been a councilman on and off since before you were born. That wouldn't surprise me too much. And I've hopefully provided positive input for the city and the direction that the government goes. I can't think of anything else that would interest anybody. I'm always available My phone number's in the book. I'm still a person who has a phone as well as a cell phone. I'm downtown every day at the post office. I'm downtown every day at one of the local grocery stores, or I'm on the street. I'm easily approachable. And I'm theoretically retired, although I do teach school once in a while. That's a great experience. Saw Aggie yesterday, by the way. And I've enjoyed that experience. I think being around young people gives me a fresh perspective, which, again, hopefully I can pass on to the citizens and our community of government. We have an inclusive government, very inclusive. You asked a question about that, welcoming and inclusive. It's already that way. It's a matter of how you define things, but government is very approachable in Meadville. And I think that's a great thing. So I can't think of anything else that I would like to say, and I don't know if there's anything I've left out from your opinions or not, anything else you would like. But thank you very much.
Well, we'd like to thank you, Mr. Roha, for joining us. Thank you, viewers, for watching. I'd like to remind you to vote on November 4th, and you can watch all our interviews on our website, meadvilletribune.com, or on our YouTube channel at Meadville Tribune Media. Thank you.
Thanks.